Hey everybody, welcome to Go for Green Living. My name's Daniel, and today it's not bragging to show you what I've done, but I'm going to show you how I vertical garden and how it's working out for me. Now, vertical gardening, vertical gardening, you're just making up for the space that would take up on the ground by sending it up instead of sending it out and around and all, just letting it spread out to a big old circle, like you would normally with a tomato plant. I send my tomatoes up so that I can put more tomato plants in one area, and I keep sending them up so they don't go on the ground. It helps with mildew, wilt, it helps with all those problems that you would have with tomatoes, and it keeps everything off the ground. So when I water, I'm just watering the ground, except when it rains. But I grow my tomatoes this way because there's more production for me, and I can watch the plant better if it's all up in front of me, instead of being in a big old bush that I can't see into. So I would rather put it up above me so I can look up and down on the whole plant to better maintain it. Now, vertical growing, it has its advantages, and I believe that it has higher yields. The reason I believe it has higher yields is because there's less pests, less things can happen to it while it's hanging in the air rather than laying on the ground. Insects and all kinds of bugs can attack your fruit if it's laying on the ground, but if it's up in the air, it's less likely to get attacked. And you can see all through these, and I'm going to give you a minute just to show you how beautiful my winter squash is growing. Now, winter squash is the other crop that I'm growing vertical. Unfortunately, it took over the area where I had the cucumbers growing, but I have butternut and acorn squash, and I have a volunteer pumpkin that came from the back of the garden and is trying to take over the whole area. But that's all coming from having good soil and soil preparation. So it all comes from that. And I use the raised beds, and I have a small garden area, so I grow vertical. If y'all remember correctly, I grew this way in the greenhouse, and I grew vertical. I grew butternut squash and loon squash. You remember that loon squash I grew? It was huge. So I wanted to try it outside, but squash bugs are fighting me, and I know y'all have seen them kill them all in that video where I'm killing all the squash bugs that I can get a hold of. But I'm doing that again using just Dawn dishwashing liquid and water, just like 1 teaspoon per spray bottle. Fill this whole spray bottle, and this kills them in about 15 seconds. So they die very rapidly. So it's not inhumane. In the vertical growing, I believe you get higher yields, better sized tomatoes, better sized butternut squash, better sized acorn squash. It's just better sized yields, and I'm sure everybody's tried it with cucumbers and green beans and everything, and the yields are better. And so that's why I tried it with bigger crops. They hold on the vines. They aren't going to snap off. I've grown cantaloupes, honeydews, watermelons this way, and none of them has ever broke off the vine. You know, they've all done just fine, just wonderful. They've all done really good without falling off the vines. So they're not going to break off and fall off your vines if you have them, 5 feet in the air. When they get ripe, they will. You got to be ready. Oh, they're about ripe. Boop, there you go. They'll just fall to the ground. But 99% of the time they don't break or anything. They just kind of just cushion right to the ground, and you find them down there. Another reason that I grow vertically is just the sheer beauty of it. I had friends come over here from the Master Gardeners. They come over here just to see my squash trellises and how well they're doing. Because we all need this information, and how I'm protecting against the bugs, which just Dawn dishwashing liquid, and we're fighting against them. So to me, vertical growing is the best for certain crops. This just me right now, so I don't have a high need for a lot of zucchini or crooked neck. So I'll grow my winter squash for the winter time, and I'll store them, and just go get them all during the winter time. I can have butternut soup and acorn squash with butter. Acorn squash with butter and brown sugar, baked for a little bit, or some cinnamon. Yes, get my mouth watering. Thinking about good old food. One thing I have found about growing vertically is that it creates a little bit of competition between, especially the tomato plants. They want to grow taller than the other one, so they're always competing. They're always vigorously growing. And if they can't beat the other person hands down, the other tomato plant hands down, then they're going to start producing fruit, so they can produce bigger yields of fruit for more seeds, better quality of seeds, and the plant actually does better with a little bit of competition. Spread them out and doing all that, that's wonderful. But with a little bit of competition, they really flourish. Trying to put out their seeds, trying to get taller than the other one. If they can't get taller than the other one, then they're going to put out better seeds than the other one. So vertical growing for me, vertical gardening and companion planting is something that is one of my main goals right now. And I'm going to keep y'all with me on this, so y'all stick around, and I'm going to let you see the vertical growing, and the pumpkin that's just taking over everything. So y'all stick around, and I'll let you walk through. Ani Ohe Atim means I love you in Hebrew. Later, guys.